calm before the storm, where the boundary between life and death is measured in millimeters.
The initiator move. The racer snake lunges, mouth agape, but the iguana demonstrates evasive mastery, its tail whipping around.
The multi-snake ambush is swift, an aerial strike of incredible speed, but the iguana's evasive maneuvers are just enough to confuse the swarm.
Cornered at the edge of the world, the rhino iguana faces a final, strategic decision. The assassin-class mambas close in.
This dramatic dodge and weave sequence is critical. The iguana narrowly avoids the interceptor class, pushing off the rock.
The desert iguana transitions from a land runner to a marine specialist class. The amphibious class advantage is clear.
Though skilled hunters, the sea snakes are left wanting. A testament to survival success, the marine iguana has mastered both worlds.
A testament to their longevity, the green iguana has survived millions of years. It is an
This high-tension maneuver highlights the mechanical advantage of the iguana's powerful structure, resulting in a spectacular spin escape.
This is the psychological warfare of the hunt. The deadlock holds. For the first one to flinch loses the advantage.
The counterattack class showcases the iguana's tail whip defense. This evasive specialist uses ignitant weaponry to strike the lunge.
The endurance class of the iguana is tested. This is the attrition factor of the Galapagos survival cycle, where the most fit survives the marathon of death.
As a massive wave breaks, the marine iguana uses its anchor class grip to stay put. Sea snakes are washed away by the hydro.
In the attack, In this swarm attack, the iguana's goal-oriented behavior is clear. The eye holds the escape objective.
The leaping class is redefined as this vibrant iguana shows aerodynamic form. The acrobat class python falls short.
The iguana faces the friction challenge. This slippery kelp demands adaptive locomotion, even defeating the lunging anaconda. A dual perspective shot comparing locomotion styles. The frantic scramble of the lead runner against the efficient glide of the closing assassin.
The coastal inhabitant provides a split-second distraction. In this chaos theory of the wild, it's the difference between a meal and an escape.
The snakes don't need to be faster, they just need to be persistent enough to exhaust the high-energy prey.
The final charge ends here.
Utilizing shadow camouflage, the snakes wait patiently. Then, in a sudden burst of high-octane action,
In a stunning display of the flanking maneuver, these tacticians attempt to cut off the iguana. But
the metabolic cost of this sprint is immense. This is respiratory stress at its peak, a raw struggle for survival.
A stunning display of the iguana's acrobatic class and aerial posture. But the rattlesnake's leaping class
The visceral sense of speed as the hunter locks onto the target. The predatory drive culminates in the final, decisive strike.
The anchor class iguana demonstrates morphological superiority. Its claws dig deep into the vesicular. This gravity assist class or vertical descent is high risk, high reward. The iguana uses its tail as a
The iguana's spatial memory guides it through the dark lava tube. The assassin snakes close in, but the narrow crevice filters.
For 5 tense seconds, neither moves. The iguana's mental fortitude proves critical in de-escalating this lethal encounter.
The pioneer class of the iguana is shown as it traverses a newly formed lava field. The wild safari camera captures
This is the swarm class black mamba. Notice the emergent behavior as they form a serpentine waterfall, showcasing collective predatory intelligence.
This treacherous obstacle course demands the utmost diplomacy.
The iguana leaps through surf, its legs retracting into a sweep profile.
This dual habitat shot highlights the sanctuary classes of the ocean for the marine iguana.
The iguana reaches a safety raft. It begins to reoxygenate, the throat pulse slowing. Salt.
The hunt may be over for now, but the cycle of life on this primeval shore is endless.
This thermal advantage allows the iguana to utilize a heat sink strategy. It seeks the cooling crevice. The apex vision of the predatory class illustrates how they calculate interception points, rather than just following the prey's tail.
Fearlessly. Showcasing the momentum class, the iguana executes a perfect bank turn using lateral flexion. The pursuing swarm loses traction and the chemical trail is momentarily lost, giving the scout class rhinoceros iguana a vital 3-second tactical lead in this high-stakes survival race.
A truly innovative locomotion class. The iguana abseils the jagged precipice, relying on tail friction.
The will to live is a biological variable that can override physical exhaustion in the apex survival moments of the chase.
This is a salt land reflex. The iguana forcefully sneezes a cloud of salt spray. The predatory class assassin, a biological harpoon in midair.
The marine journalist executes the tail whip, generating a powerful water shield. This liquid explosion blinds the The runner class must simply outlast the sprint capacity of the assassin class. Survival is truly a war of attrition.
The final barrier.
A successful breach. The marine iguana disappears into the turquoise deep, leaving a trail of bubbles. The camera pans up to the frustrated swarm of coastal assassins.
We call it the anatomy of speed.
Here we see the tail used not just as a rudder, but as a primary kinetic weapon, delivering stun-level force to multiple predators simultaneously.
A high-stakes decision for the escape specialist. This shortcut to the sea risks becoming a deadly trap, but the reward is freedom. The iguana reaches its exhaustion threshold. The pupil dilates rapidly as the snakes close in, a raw display of
The wall of water hits. The iguana uses its anchor-class claws to bolt itself to the rock, while several snakes are swept into the abyss by the hydraulic force.
A perfect defensive phalanx. The iguana's spiny dorsal crest forms a lethal barbed wall.
Survival isn't just about a single sprint. It's about the mental and physical will to keep moving across the infinite obstacle course of the coast.
The transformation is complete. As the snakes reach the slippery edge, the marine specialist
recovery and respite. The iguana's heart rate slows as the adrenaline dumps.
The vastness of the Pacific highlights the smallness of the struggle. A narrative resolution.
This is a tactical reset. The iguana uses the geothermal features of the island to blind the thermal sensing capabilities of the assassin class.
A masterful display of the tail balance class. The iguana's tail acts as a gyroscopic stabilizer.
Physical attrition takes its toll. The racer snakes have redlined, their anaerobic capacity exhausted in this coastal chase.
The scout's frantic escape triggers a panic chain reaction. This emergent behavior reveals a complex. The technological perspective explains the biological tracking.
Thermal tracking active.
As long as the scout is running, it is broadcasting its location.
Iguana utilizes sudden kinetic stops and high-torque launches. This allows them to outmaneuver the assassin-class snakes, who rely on scales alone.
As the iguana hits the turquoise water, it immediately streamlines its body, folding its legs tightly as it engages its powerful propulsive tail. This cycle completion shot illustrates that the war is never over, only paused, as the predatory hive waits.